Please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Thank you for your support. Muel spent his childhood in the shadow of his cruel father. His father was a strong and feared warrior, but also a ruthless man. Young Muel was constantly tested to prove himself worthy in his father's eyes. He was taken to the forest, forced to face wild animals, and punished harshly for the slightest sign of weakness. One day, his father threw Muel in front of a hungry lion in the forest, making his survival dependent solely on his strength. Muel managed to survive that day, but the fear and hatred he felt for his father created a deep darkness within him. Father Muel, take pride in your strength. The weak have no place in this world. You will take my place and show no mercy to anyone. Muel, internal monologue, I must be strong, or I'll never be like my father. But the hatred I feel for him will make me even stronger. Years later, when Muel returned to the tribe, he stood by the side of the leader, Kundi. But the dark ambition within him silently gnawed at him. Kundi was a leader who approached his people with love and justice, but Muel saw this as a weakness. Kundi sensed the darkness within Muel, yet chose to trust him. One night, Muel seized the opportunity to speak with Kundi. Muel, Kundi, leading the tribe is a tough job. I can help you. I'm here to lighten your burden. Kundi, suspiciously, Muel, I believe in your strength. But protecting this tribe isn't just about strength. Love and justice are important too. Muel perceived Kundi's soft approach as a weakness. Instead of confronting him directly, he began to quietly make his plans. Kulum was a respected elder in the tribe and one of Kundi's closest advisors. He had sensed the darkness within Muel and knew he was dangerous. But Kulum's intuition wouldn't save him. Muel took Kulum out hunting one night and led him deep into the forest. Kulum noticed the darkness in Muel's eyes. Kulum, Muel, I see the darkness in your eyes. Step back before your ambition consumes you. Muel, coldly, Kulum, I will create a tribe that doesn't need old wisdom like yours. The weak have no place in this world. Muel threw Kulum in front of wild lions and watched him die. As Kulum's screams echoed in the darkness of the night, the darkness within Muel grew even stronger. As Muel's plans slowly began to take shape, Kito, a young warrior in the tribe, started to have suspicions about him. Kito had noticed the darkness in Muel's eyes and was certain that he would betray Kundi. Kito decided to share his suspicions with Kundi. Kito, Kundi, I think Muel is dangerous. His dark ambition could harm our tribe. Kundi, thoughtfully, Muel is a strong warrior, but I understand your concerns. We need to watch him closely. Kundi took Kito's warning seriously, but didn't want to underestimate Muel's strength. Muel, however, had noticed Kito's suspicions and chose him as his next victim. Muel decided it was time to eliminate Kito. He invited him on a hunting trip one night. Kito accepted the invitation, but felt great unease inside. As they ventured deep into the forest, Muel suddenly overpowered Kito. Kito, fearfully, Muel, what you're doing will only destroy you. There's no place for you in this tribe. Muel, coldly, the weak have no place in this world. Kito, the strong will prevail. Muel left Kito in the depths of the forest to be attacked by wild dogs. As Kito's screams shattered the silence of the night, Muel's dark reign grew stronger. Muel began to target other people in the tribe. Zuri, a young woman, tried to escape Muel's cruelty. She had discovered Muel's dangerous plans and tried to rally others in the tribe to stand against him. However, Muel learned of Zuri's plans and captured her. Zuri fought bravely against Muel. Zuri, Muel, the darkness you've brought to this tribe will end. We will stop you. Muel, indifferently, darkness is always strong. Zuri, the weak are just obstacles. Muel imprisoned Zuri in a cave and left her without food or water for days. Despite all her efforts to survive, Moyle eventually burned her alive. Zuri's death instilled great fear in the tribe, but no one dared to oppose Moyle. Juma was a strong and respected hunter in the tribe. When he heard of Moyle's atrocities, he decided to confront him. Juma had known Moyle's victims closely and had seen his true face. Juma, Moyle, your tyranny will destroy the tribe. This darkness must end. Moyle, threateningly, Juma, you turned out to be weak too. The strong prevail, the weak are crushed. Moyle tied Juma to a tree and began to torture him. Juma tried to resist Moyle, but he couldn't withstand Moyle's cruelty. Moyle brutally killed him by skinning him alive. Moyle had instilled fear in everyone in the tribe. His reign of terror had driven everyone into silence. No one dared to oppose Moyle. To further increase his power, Moyle began killing more people. Each victim was a victory for him. Moyle decided to eliminate Kundi to fully seize leadership. But in the process, his arrogance and cruelty led some in the tribe to work against him. Mosi was a wise and respected figure in the tribe. He decided to work with Kundi to stop Moyle's cruelty. Mosi had learned of Moyle's plans and devised a plan to end his tyranny. Mosi, Moyle, the darkness you've brought to this tribe must end. These people deserve better than a leader like you. Moyle, with a cold smile, Mosi, you're just as weak as the others. The strong will prevail. Moyle captured Mosi and fed him to wild animals. Mosi's death instilled great fear in the tribe, but Moyle's reign wasn't over. Moyle was close to achieving his ambition of leadership. But his closest friend, Kamoni, had devised a plan to end Moyle's reign of terror. Kamoni decided to use Moyle's weaknesses to poison him. One night, Kamoni offered Moyle a special herbal drink, which he drank. Shortly after, Moyle collapsed to the ground and died in agony. As Kamoni felt the relief of ending Moyle's brutal reign, the tribe experienced great relief. Moyle's reign of terror had ended. The tribe was freed from his horrific rule, but the scars of his terror would remain for a long time. Moyle's brutal death brought great relief to the tribe, but his ruthless reign had left deep marks. After Moyle's death, Kundi tried to rebuild the tribe, but the trauma Moyle left behind would not easily fade. Stores, too. Marcus had grown weary of the cold and orderly life in Europe. Seeking adventure and wealth, he set out for the depths of Africa. For him, Africa was both a treasure to be discovered and a source of uncertain danger. In his European village, even the wealthiest person he had ever seen would pale in comparison to Marcus's dreams of finding gold. This ambition was leading him down a dark path. When Marcus arrived in Africa, he was met by a local guide. As the guide showed him around the area, he warned Marcus to be cautious. Guide, Mr. Marcus, this place is very different from Europe. The people here live in hardship. You must be respectful towards them, Marcus. Laughing respect? What could their lives possibly teach me? Once I find the gold, I'll be gone from here. Guide, but remember, the spirits here are strong. Nature might not accept outsiders like you. Marcus, nonsense. Once I find the gold, not even the spirits can stop me from becoming rich. This dialogue reveals how Marcus dismisses the guide's warnings and holds a deep disdain for the local people. Over time, Marcus grows increasingly resentful of the poverty and lifestyle of the locals. This resentment festers within him, leading to an uncontrollable rage. One day, as Marcus was walking alone in the forest, he encountered a woman. She had come from the village to collect firewood, and upon seeing Marcus, immediately recoiled in fear. Marcus noticed her fear, and it became a display of power for him. The dark urge within him grew as he fed off her terror. As he watched her trembling body and attempts to flee, a sinister plan formed in Marcus's mind. Marcus chased the woman deep into the forest. She screamed and pleaded for help, but the forest's silence swallowed her cries. When Marcus finally caught her, he unleashed all his fury upon her. He raped and brutally killed her. The woman's lifeless body was left under a tree in the depths of the forest, in a place where no one would ever find her. During the murder, the dialogue between Marcus and his victim illustrates his cruelty. Victim, trembling, please let me go. I'm just here to gather firewood. Marcus, smiling, how frightened you are. I wonder how it feels to live in such fear. Victim, I'll give you whatever you want, just spare my life. Marcus, is there anything you can offer that would amuse me more? Or should I create my own entertainment? This exchange highlights Marcus's sadistic nature and how he exploits his victim's helplessness. The satisfaction Marcus derived from his first murder was profound. There was no turning back now. Marcus decided to continue down this dark path. The murders followed one after the other, each carefully selected by Marcus. He lured women into the forest, raped and killed them, and dispatched men with even more brutal and savage methods. Children became special targets for Marcus. Killing them turned into a ritual that fed the darkness within him. Each murder further refined Marcus's methods. After killing his victims, he meticulously erased all traces, ensuring that no one noticed the murders. However, during this process, Marcus's mind grew increasingly dark. With each passing day, he transformed into a monster devoid of humanity. As Marcus chose his victims, his inner monologues and chilling conversations with them added depth to the narrative. Marcus's inner voice: this man talks too much. Silencing him forever would be such a pleasure. Yes, I must silence him. Marcus, to a male victim, are you afraid because I'm so strong? You should be. Because tonight will be your last. Male victim, why are you doing this? What do you want? Marcus, silence. This place is too noisy because of pathetic people like you. It's my duty to silence them. These dialogues reveal how Marcus toys with his victims and manipulates their fears. Rumors began to spread throughout the African villages about the missing people. The local people believed that evil spirits or a cursed entity were behind these disappearances. However, the police launched an intensive investigation to uncover the real cause of these disappearances. Although tracking Marcus was difficult, the police tried to piece together the clues. But Marcus's intelligence and cold-bloodedness misled them for a long time. The dialogues between the police officers emphasize how challenging the investigation was and highlight Marcus's cunning. Detective A, these disappearances can't be a coincidence. Something's going on here, Detective B, but there's no trace. It's like people just vanished into thin air. Detective A, maybe we're dealing with a hunter. But this hunter is very careful. Detective B, but who could this hunter be? No one could be this cold-blooded. Detective A, we need to find him. Or else there will be more victims. These conversations showcase the detective's frustration and underscore how dangerous Marcus truly is. During the police investigation, they find some clues about the locations where Marcus committed his murders. Abandoned village huts in the forest bear traces of the victims. However, these clues only create more questions in the detectives' minds. Understanding who Marcus is and why he committed these murders becomes a great mystery for the police. Eventually, the police begin to track Marcus down. One night, when Marcus was about to kill another victim in the forest, he was caught red-handed by the police. Marcus, surprised, tries to resist the officers, but there is no escape now. As the police start to understand how Marcus carried out the murders and selected his victims, the dark side of the story comes to light. The dialogue between Marcus and the police during his capture illustrates how even at the moment of his capture, Marcus remains arrogant and cold-blooded. Police, put your hands up, Marcus. There's nowhere left to run. Marcus, laughing, really? Did you actually think you could catch me? Police, you've killed so many people. Justice will be served. Marcus, justice? You can't judge me for something as bright as gold. Marcus confesses to all his crimes and is sentenced to life imprisonment. The dialogues in court and prison further delve into Marcus's acceptance of his crimes and his psychology. In court, the families of Marcus's victims demand that he receive the harshest punishment, tears streaming down their faces. Marcus, however, remains stoic and shows no signs of remorse throughout the trial. This scene highlights just how far Marcus has distanced himself from humanity. Judge, Marcus, the crimes you have committed are unspeakable. There is only one sentence for you in this world. Life imprisonment, Marcus. Smiling, in the end. We all pay for our deeds, don't we? Psychologist, why did you commit these murders? What kind of hatred did you harbor within you? Marcus, hatred? No, this was a duty. They weren't worthy of this world. These dialogues reveal Marcus's psychological state and how he justifies his murders. Trapped within the walls of the prison, Marcus begins to pay the price for his crimes. However, Marcus's capture leaves behind many unanswered questions and unresolved mysteries. As the police continue their investigations in the forest to find Marcus's victims, they discover that some victims are still missing. The dark secrets of Marcus may never fully come to light. In the early days of his imprisonment, Marcus maintains his composure. The other prisoners, having heard of his notoriety, begin to fear him. Marcus uses this fear as a tool to assert control even within the prison. However, over time, Marcus's mind begins to buckle under the weight of his crimes. In his dreams, he sees the faces of those he killed and begins to hear their voices. Marcus's inner voice, they're like shadows. But these shadows won't leave me alone. Marcus, to himself, I must silence them. This time for good. These internal monologues illustrate Marcus's mental collapse. For him, the prison is not just a physical punishment, but also a mental torment. After Marcus's capture, the police continue their investigations to find the missing victims. Some clues found in the forest lead to the discovery of another murder that had not previously been linked to Marcus. However, this murder is different from the others. This time, Marcus had left a victim alive and allowed them to escape. The police begin searching for this person, but finding them proves difficult. Detective A, Marcus couldn't have left someone alive. That's not his style. Detective B, maybe this person was part of Marcus's games. Maybe he had a bigger plan. These dialogues heighten suspicions that Marcus may have had a deeper plan in mind. When the police finally track down the surviving victim, they receive shocking information about Marcus. This person claims that Marcus did not commit these murders solely for pleasure, but saw them as part of a ritual. This ritual was meant to bind the souls of those he killed to himself. Armed with this new information, the police re-examine all the murders Marcus committed. Meanwhile, Marcus's life in prison becomes increasingly complex. Psychologists who visit Marcus attempt to understand the traces of this ritual in his mind. Psychologist, they say you saw these murders as a ritual. Is that true? Marcus, with a cold expression, it was necessary to free their souls. They were nothing but a burden to this world. Psychologist, and what about you? Is your soul free? Marcus, quietly, my soul is paying the price for freeing them. This dialogue reveals the ongoing inner conflict within Marcus and the psychological effects the murders have had on him. While Marcus believes in the necessity of his ritual, he also begins to realize that his soul cannot endure this torment. As the years pass in prison, Marcus's mind grows increasingly muddled. His dreams turn into nightmares. The faces of those he killed haunt him every night. One night, Marcus manages to escape from prison. His escape gives him a fleeting sense of freedom, but Marcus knows that this freedom will be short-lived. During his escape, as he is pursued by the police, Marcus returns to the forest one last time. He visits the graves of his victims and wanders around them. There, Marcus delivers his final speech. "Marcus, to the graves, it was you who brought me back here. My end will be here as well." Marcus digs his own grave, the same one he had prepared for his victims, and ends his life by killing himself in it. His death is both a physical and psychological escape. When the police find Marcus's body, they begin to investigate his final moments and the mysterious symbols surrounding the graves. These symbols represent the final piece of the ritual that had taken hold of Marcus's mind. Thank you for listening.